All right, looks like we are live. Hello to no one that is live right now with me because this is my first live stream and I'm just trying to get some stuff situated. Sorry, still trying to turn on some lighting, adjust the microphone here a little bit. We're going to be, first of all, my name's Stein. Welcome into my channel. I'm going to be having a sports channel here, talking and reviewing sports just throughout the week, and mainly football, college football, NFL mostly. We'll talk a little bit about UFC. I'm a big UFC fan. Not really much this week, other than there wasn't really any fights other than Diego Lopez. No, not too many people are really interested in the small fights. I mean, I am, but I don't. No one's gonna really be interested in listening to those. As you can see, I'm a Detroit and Michigan fan, so those are my fandoms. Also, secondary Cowboys fan. So just giving you guys a little backstory about me because be doing these shows, trying to at least once a week, and let's get into it. So we're gonna be let me adjust this microphone. I could see that it's not picking up my voice very well. Maybe I can can't really edit it too much. I'll have to adjust that probably for next week. But let's get started. We're first going to start off with the Sunday Night Football game that happened last night, the Falcons at the Vikings. By the way, I'm going to be reading off my notes here. So if you see me looking down a lot, like these are my handwritten notes. I wrote that I didn't just look them up. So I did spend a lot of time on these. So these are my own thoughts, my own notes. So it's not just copy paste. But yeah, I am going to be reading off it because I can't remember everything off the top of my head. But yeah, Falcons Vikings game last night. Bijan ran for 22 times for 143 yards. The Falcons had a new kicker. He's Georgia native, Parker Romo. He made 5 field goals without a miss in his debut. Atlanta's defense smothered J.J. McCarthy for 6 sacks, 3 turnovers, and a 22-6 victory over the Vikings. Tyler Algier added 13 carries for 67 yards and a late touchdown. The Vikings defense actually kept the game pretty close all night, and the offense crossed midfield just 3 times. Only once they got inside the 20. Penix was 13 for 21, 135 yards. Is yet to commit a turnover this season, even though it's only 2 games. McCarthy, who was taken 2 picks after Penix in the 2024 draft. Rookie year was obviously cut short last year due to the knee injury. Overcame an interception return for a score in his debut against Chicago, obviously last week, and had some fourth quarter McCarthy magic. Unfortunately, there was no McCarthy magic this time, and the Vikings obviously lost. Instead of playing it safe and leading to halftime, the Vikings did. Your coach, Kevin O'Connell, did show his faith in McCarthy by calling a dropback that resulted in a 50-yard pass to Justin Jefferson, and that set up the field goal going into halftime. Falcons just defense, their draft class also dominated. First-round picks Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. They each contributed to the 5 first-half sacks that the Falcons had. One of their main priorities, the Falcons' main priorities, was addressing that pass rush this season. That was one of the bottom in the leagues the last few seasons, actually, not just last season. But they did definitely improve the pass rush so far. Atlanta hadn't had that many sacks in a game since in a half in any game since 2009 against Washington. We're going to go to the Giants and Cowboys game. Brandon Aubrey hit a 46-yard field goal as time expired in overtime after nailing a 64-yarder to send the game into overtime, sending the Giants home with a 40-37 loss. Overtime was scoreless until Aubrey's kick after a combined 41 points in the fourth and 5 consecutive go-ahead touchdowns in the final 12 minutes. Russell Wilson, after throwing for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, made his only big mistake of the day after he threw an interception. on a deep ball that wasn't really anywhere close to Malik Neighbors, and it was picked off by Donovan Wilson. That ended up setting Dallas was able to move into field goal range. I mean, pretty easily. It's a chip shot field goal range for Brandon Aubrey on that one on the 46-yarder. Yep, and they win 40-37. We're going to go Bears-Lions. Goff throws 5 touchdowns, 3 of them to St. Brown as the Lions bounce back big with a 52-21 win over their old friend Ben Johnson, our old friend Ben Johnson and the Bears. The Lions' play calling struggled last week, but improved massively after 500 yards on offense and 5 passing touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns for the first time in franchise history. Sorry, got a little caught away there with a lot of F's. Franchise first 5, So, but yeah, 5 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns for first time in franchise history. They even averaged a team record 8.8 yards per play with John Morton calling plays, which you hear that team record 8.8 yards per play with John Morton calling plays. So you hear that, Ben Johnson? We don't need you, and statistically, we're better off without you. Chicago turned it over twice, 1 interception, 1 fumble. They also turned it over on downs in each half, had 8 penalties, and gave up 4 sacks. Not going to be a winning formula. You do pretty much all those things. You don't even have to tell me the score. I'm going to know that you lost the game and probably wasn't close, and it wasn't. Caleb Williams showed some flashes, but overall he still went back to trying to play hero ball. Looked kind of like last year, Caleb Williams. Cost him a few times. He was Caleb, end of the day, 19 for 30, 207 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We're going to go on to the Jaguars and Bengals. Joe Burrow suffered a toe injury and left the game with about 9:02 remaining in the second quarter and did not return. Turns out he's actually going to need toe surgery that will sideline him for a minimum of 3 months per Adam Schefter. Although the Bengals trailed 17-10 at halftime and were led by backup quarterback Jake Browning, they were able to climb back and get the 31-27 win, despite Trevor Lawrence's 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bengals rookie defensive end Shamar Stewart had a right ankle injury in the fourth quarter as well, and he did not return. So we're going to go to Rams-Titans. Matthew Stafford threw for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Rams beat the Titans 33-19 at home. Meaning at the Titans' home. Sorry, not saying at the Rams' home. They beat them on the road at the Titans' home. They scored 20 straight points to spoil Cam Ward's NFL home opener. Wide receiver Puka Nacua also ran for 45 yards and a touchdown. He had 91 yards receiving. Devontae Adams also had 106 yards receiving and a touchdown catch. The Rams sacked number 1 overall pick Cam Ward 5 times. Linebacker Byron Young had 2 of them and also had a strip sack on the Titans 21. Tennessee led 13-10 at halftime and was up 16-13 when the Rams made their comeback. Stafford put the Rams ahead to stay with a 8-yard touchdown pass to Davis Allen late in the third quarter. After Ward's fumble, Stafford needed 3 plays to put the Rams up 27-16 with 9:40 left on a 16-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Adams. Blake Corum also added a 1-yard touchdown run with 6:45 left. The Rams outgained the Titans 439 yards to 252. Pretty impressive there, I'd say. Ward was 19 for 33 with 175 yards, and he also threw his first NFL touchdown pass to Alec Eilmanor, who also had his first touchdown catch of his career. So my question is obviously I know the answer to this, but who keeps the ball? Like, you get a guy who throws his first touchdown pass, and you get a guy who catches his first touchdown pass. Obviously, it's going to be the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, and the quarterback, even if it probably wasn't the number 1 overall pick. It's most likely going to be the quarterback. But, I mean, that's kind of sucks for Alec Eilmanor. He doesn't even get – most guys, if they get touchdown pass to them by a veteran quarterback, doesn't really matter too much to that veteran quarterback. That rookie gets to keep that ball, So obviously, Alec Iomater's not going to get to keep it, but hopefully he'll have plenty because he is on my dynasty fantasy team, and I need him to be a stud in the future, and I think he's going to be. We're going to go to Patriots-Dolphins. Patriots at the Dolphins. Drake May threw for 2 touchdowns for another, and rushed for another to help lead the Patriots past the Dolphins for a 33-27 win. That's their first time since 2022 beating the Dolphins, and it's Vrabel's first win as a New England coach. Running back Ramondre Stevenson finished with 142 total yards, 5 catches for 88 yards, and 11 carries for 54 yards. May completed 19 of 23, 230 yards, and had an 8-yard touchdown pass to former Dolphin Matt Collins, who got his revenge on the Dolphins, and a 16-yard scoring toss to Kayshon Boutte, which, by the way, Matt Collins didn't. I feel like Matt Collins, I got to look this up real quick. I know for a fact he's played for the Bills, the Dolphins, and, okay, so he started off with the Eagles, Dolphins, Raiders, Falcons, Bills, Patriots. The dude just needs to go to the Jets to complete his AFC East Infinity Gauntlet. But, I mean, who wants to go to the Jets, especially if Justin Fields is going to be your quarterback next year? No, thank you. Going back to that, the Dolphins took a 27-23 lead midway through the fourth when Malik Washington returned a punt return, 74 yards for a touchdown, which was sick. And then, literally, before the Miami fans weren't even done celebrating, Gibson took the following kickoff to the house, giving the Patriots a 3-point lead. Just gotta suck to be a Miami fan in that moment, Linebacker Marte Mapu intercepted Tua. Miami's next drive, and May drove the Patriots into field goal range, set up a 53-yarder. And, yep, they won 33-27. Going to go to 49ers Saints. Mac Jones made his first start as a 49er with Brock Purdy out, threw for 279, 3 touchdowns as the 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. Jones's touchdown passes went for 11 yards to Luke Farrell, 7 yards to Christian McCaffrey, and 42 yards to Juwan Jennings. The last one gave the Niners a 26-14 lead in the fourth quarter. For the fourth time since 2019, the 49ers have started a regular season with 2 straight road victories. In 2 of those seasons, 2019 and 2023, they made the Super Bowl. And the other, 2021, they advanced to the NFC title game. Can they do it again this year? I honestly don't think so. That team is just riddled with injuries. I know it's still earlier in the season, so you never know. I guess if you need to have injuries, have them now. But also, that Christian McCaffrey is just scary. I hear it all. He's got to be siphoning the health from Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy and George Kittle and all the other running backs in their running back room. It's just a mess over there. The 49ers training staff, you probably need to hire a new training staff over there in the 49ers, just because no one can stay healthy. Saints, meanwhile, are still looking for their first victory under their new head coach, Kellen Moore, after losing their first 2 of the season at home by a touchdown or less. In each game, they had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead in the final minutes, but they've also had costly mistakes, penalties, turnovers, dropped passes, missed open wide receivers, blown defensive coverages, and on 3rd and long, and a missed field goal in each game. So you have those mistakes. It seems like simple coaching mistakes here. I know it's his first job, or his first time as being a head coach, Kellen Moore, and it's still just, it's 2 games in, but I mean, come on, these are head coaching mistakes right here that can easily be fixed. Obviously, I don't think the Saints have the talent to compete with some of these teams, but clearly they have been competing with some of these teams. It's just been coaching opportunities or coaching mistakes that clearly, obviously drop passes, but you have turnovers and drop passes. Can't really blame that too much on the coach. That's on the players, but you have penalties that are committed, like blown defensive coverages. Like, I mean, this is also just like some of the players. Like, what are we doing? Like, get with the program. That whole Saints team just needs to get back on track. Bills at Jets. James Cook went off, ran for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bills cruised to a 30-10 victory on Sunday. Bills. With the Bills leading 10-0, Allen left the late in the first quarter after he scrambled and was stopped for no gain. I chuckled because Michael Clemens appeared to he got a hand under his face mask. Josh Allen said, I pulled when I probably should have handed it off. Allen said, I tried to throw it and I saw them push, so I decided to tuck it. I don't know what hit me. It was a knee, it was a hand, it was somebody, and the helmet just kind of came down on the bridge of my nose. It just started leaking. Allen, with blood flowing from his nose, ran to the sideline. He was examined by the trainers. Mitch Trubisky came in, immediately completed a 32-yard pass to Josh Palmer for the first down. Trubisky then handed off to Ty Johnson. Allen continued to be looked at. Allen, with his left nostril, was packed with gauze. He then jogged back onto the field, and on the next play to start the second quarter. Excuse me. The drive ended with a 52-yard field goal by Matt Prater, who was the hero last week. Gave the Bills a 13-0 lead. With the game well in hand, the Bills leading 30-3 with 8:23 left. Allen came out and Trubisky finished. Allen was 14 of 25 for 148 yards and ran for 59 yards on 6 carries. Fields, who came off a promising debut last week, struggled to move the ball before leaving in the fourth quarter with a concussion. After being sacked by Joey Bosa, Fields was checked in the injury tent and walked to the locker room. Tyrod Taylor then replaced Fields with 12:03 remaining. Fields was only 3 of 11 on passing for 27 yards and had 49 yards rushing on 5 carries. Think about that. He was replaced with 12:03 remaining in the fourth quarter, and he was 3 of 11 on passing for 27 yards. 3 of 11 on passing for 27 yards through 3 full quarters. And even his best ability is his rushing, and he was only held to 49. He was held to 49 yards on 5 carries. I mean, like, clearly, if he was only passed it 3 of 11 times, like 11 times, like, why don't you like letting them at least run more? I don't know. Clearly, it wasn't working for them, as they obviously lost 30-10. Seahawks at Steelers. Steelers had just taken a 3-point lead on a 54-yard field goal by Myers when his kickoff bounced in front of Caleb Johnson, the rookie running back that Pittsburgh selected this year. The ball hopped over his head at about the Pittsburgh 5, and Johnson started heading towards the sideline, thinking the play was over, and it wasn't. Halani tracked the ball down just before it rolled across the end line for score for touchdown that put the Seahawks up 24-14. Mike Tomlin said, poor judgment by a young player. And yeah, just can't have it. Can't do it. Like, you got to know, like, even if, like, you don't think the ball touched you, like, even if you're like, oh, I didn't think the ball touched me, it doesn't matter. The ball's still live. Whether the ball touches you or not, the ball was live. You got to learn the rules, dude. You're returning kickoffs. You got to know the kickoff rules. Halani's recovery of the kickoff for a touchdown early in the fourth quarter gave the Seahawks 10-point lead, and they were never threatened in the 31-17 victory over Pittsburgh. Rodgers completed 18 of 33 for 203 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions. A week after he had a great Steelers debut, and DK Metcalf only caught 3 passes for 2 yards and a touchdown, but was largely a non-factor against his former team, the Seahawks. So no DK revenge game. While Pittsburgh sputtered, the Seahawks dominated. Sam Darnold passed for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, overcoming a pair of first half interceptions that led to some Pittsburgh scores. Kenneth Walker ran for 105 yards, including a 19-yard touchdown. Yeah, So it was mainly he was supposed to bleed the clock out, and he didn't, which fine by me because I had him in fantasy, so definitely needed him to score. Um, but this was actually his first 100-yard performance since the 2024 opener against Denver. My advice is to sell him in fantasy while you can. That's what I was waiting on, is Walker big game and then sell him. And I didn't pick him just to sell him. No, he's in my dynasty league. So I've been planning this for a little while. Like, I need to not dealing with it anymore. So Browns at Ravens. Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdown passes, and Baltimore's defense just harassed Joe Flacco through his return to Baltimore, as the Ravens blew out the Cleveland Browns 41-17. Cleveland defense limited Derrick Henry to just 23 yards on 11 rushing attempts. Ravens rushed for 45 yards, their lowest team total since Jackson took over at quarterback in 2018, not counting the games he's missed. But the Browns are mostly just inept on offense. Flacco, the former Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Ravens, was playing his first game in Baltimore as an opposing player, and went 25 for 45, only 199 yards, and a touchdown with an interception and a lost fumble. Flacco's pass was nearly intercepted by his only touchdown pass was nearly intercepted by Marlon Humphrey, but went through his arms and bounced right to Cedric Tillman. That's what made it 20-10, and then Baltimore. In the fourth quarter, Jackson threw a 24-yard scoring pass to Walker with 13:26 remaining. Then Flacco fumbled on a sack, and Roquan Smith scooped up the ball 63 yards for a tutty. Jackson added another scoring pass to Hopkins, and the Browns pulled off Flacco and put in rookie Dillon Gabriel after that. And Dillon Gabriel threw an 8-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Sampson with about 150 to play in garbage time. So obviously the Broncos beat the Colts. We got not Broncos beat the Colts. Obviously Browns beat the Ravens. Next up is Broncos and Colts. Broncos actually didn't beat the Colts. Spencer Schrader misses his initial kick, but the Broncos are called for a personal foul, giving the Colts a second chance, which is converted for a game-winning field goal to give the Colts a 29-28 win. So he missed the 60-yarder, was called for a penalty, gives him a chance at a 45, hits that. Taylor also had Jonathan Taylor had 25 carries for 165 yards and a touchdown catch. He posted his 25th 100-yard game to break a tie with Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, literally league's the record holder for the most rushing yards in a single season. For the second most in franchise history, Jones had another efficient performance, avoiding talk about Daniel Jones. Sorry if I'm talking a little too fast. Daniel Jones had another efficient performance, avoiding any turnovers in his second Colts start. He was 23 of 34 for 316 yards, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run. His first 300 games since September 17th, 2023 for the Giants. Bo Nix finished 22 of 30 for 206 and 3 touchdowns. All were in the first half. 1 interception. Troy Franklin had a touchdown catch and finished with career best of 8 catches for 89 yards. Dobbins also rushed 14 times for 76 yards. But obviously, Colts got that win off that field goal, 29-28. We're going to go to Panthers-Cardinals. 39-year-old Calais Campbell came up with the game-ending sack to help the Arizona Cardinals secure a 27-22 victory over the Carolina Panthers, thwarting their late comeback attempt. Arizona had built a 27-3 lead with 9:23 left in the third quarter. 27-3, 28-3, sounds kind of familiar. 27-3 lead with 9:23 left in the third quarter, but almost gave it all away. Bryce Young threw 3 touchdown passes in the second half. Third touchdown was a 1-yard touchdown throw to Hunter Renfrow. cut the margin 27-22 with 1:58 left. Panthers then converted the onside kick. They got the ball at midfield, setting up the final offensive drive that included 8 plays and 6 penalty flags, 4 for Arizona, 2 to Carolina. Unfortunately, Young was sacked with 26 seconds left on fourth down by Campbell to end the threat and the game pretty much. Kyler Murray completed 17 of 25 for 220 yards and added a crazy 30-yard scramble in the fourth quarter. That was pretty sick. He just looks like a midget out there on the field. It's so funny. Like I'm literally like similar height to him. He's like probably 5'10", 5'9". I'm 5'11". But it's so funny watching him out there against because all these guys are like 6'6", 6'7", like his offensive line, and he just looks like a little kid out there playing football. It's funny. But yeah, Trey McBride caught 6 passes for 78 yards. Young finished with a career high 328 yards passing, completed 35 of 55 passes. 55 passes he threw. That's a lot. Though he missed on all 7 of his throws on the final drive, third-year quarterback also had a rough start with 2 early turnovers 1 week after a 3-turnover outing in his loss last week to the Jaguars. We're going to go to the Eagles-Chiefs game now. This one was the mid-afternoon game, Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles were far from perfect, but they were good enough to beat the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley both had touchdown runs, and Andrew Makuba came up with a big fourth-quarter interception that bounced out of Travis Kelce's arms, helping lead the Eagles to a 20-17 victory. It was mainly fueled by Philadelphia's defense. Hurts threw just for 101 yards, and Barkley was held to 88 rushing yards by the Chiefs, but the Eagles in turn held Kansas City to just 295 yards total, stopped the Chiefs once on fourth down, and came away with the only turnover at that big pivotal point in the game. Mahomes just had 187 yards passing total, struggling to find any open playmakers without Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy on the field. Mahomes did have 66 yards and a touchdown on the ground, but he didn't get much help from anyone else on the Chiefs as they fall to 0-2 for the first time since the 2014 season. And that was also the second week in a row that Mahomes led his team in rushing. And he's a quarterback. I mean, he's a mobile quarterback, but you can't have Mahomes leading your team in rushing. It'd be different if it was Lamar or Josh Allen. And yes, Mahomes is mobile and he can run, but that's not his main strength. You don't want him like leading your team in rushing. That's not the Chiefs' formula for winning games. Honestly, the tush push is getting ridiculous. I'm going to go into that in a little later in this live stream. But yeah, that's all I'll say. Getting a little ridiculous. I did see the video. Saquon was trying to ask Jalen Watson for help up, and Jalen Watson was not having it. He's like, "Give me your hand, come on." And he's like, "Come on, come on, come on." And Jalen Watson's like, "No, dude, I'm not, I'm not helping you up." And Saquon just like literally jumped up, and got in his face, which I think it's funny because it's like you're literally sitting there going like, "Will you help me up? Will you help me up? Will you help me up?" No? Okay, I'm gonna fucking spring up so fast. It's like, well, clearly you didn't need help up if you're just gonna shoot up so damn fast and get in his face. Like, obviously, I know it's just he's asking for some help up. It's just gamesmanship, sportsmanlike. But honestly, like, you're a Super Bowl rematch, dude. I'm not even a Chiefs fan. I don't even like the Chiefs. I don't even like the Eagles, though. So I don't blame. I don't blame Jalen Watson. It's football, dude. Like Saquon, like, okay, big deal. He didn't help you up. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry about it. Like, and I know Saquon's a good guy. I like Saquon, but it's just funny. Like, what did you expect him to help you up? Do you expect him to carry your ass up off the ground? No, that's not. It's football, dude. This isn't a fucking beauty contest. All right. We're going to go to the Thursday night football game with the Commanders at Packers. Obviously, this one happened Thursday, so it was a few days ago. So not as fresh in the memory, so let me try to refresh our minds. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers looked great. Their defense looked even better than it did last week. Love threw for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft dominated with 6 catches for 124 yards and a touchdown in the fourth that ended up being the dagger for the Commanders. Washington only gained 23 yards on their first 3 drives before getting their first score from a 51-yard field goal from Matt Gay. But then he ended up missing a 58 and a 52-yarder later. Washington managed to cut the lead 17-10 in the third on an Ertz touchdown, but the Packers ended up scoring a touchdown on their next drive from a Brandon McManus field goal, followed by a Brandon McManus field goal later in the fourth. Sorry about that. Deebo Samuel scored a garbage time touchdown, which helped all the Deebo Samuel managers out there. Cutting the final score to 27-18. Packers get a win this week, 27-18 and 27-13 last week against the Lions. Both teams scored a garbage time touchdown, the Commanders and the Lions, against the Packers. So this team is actually like a lot better than what these scores are representing at the end of the game. You could probably expect, like, these are also two teams that were, like, the Commanders won 12 games last year. The Lions won 15. So combined, these teams went 27-7 last year. Like, absolutely incredible so expect the Packers to blow out some of these lesser teams than the Commanders and Lions. We have one of my takes. It's going to be called the good, the bad, and the ugly, where I talk about one thing from a specific game or the weekend or something, one thing that's good, one thing that's bad, and one thing that's ugly. The interesting thing about this week is it's just going to be one item. One item is going to be all good, bad, and ugly. It's all the same. And it's going to be the Eagles tush push. This is exactly what this is where I was saying that we're going to get into the tush push in a little bit. This is where we're going to get into it. The good, the bad, and the ugly is the Eagles tush push. It is all of those things. You have the, first of all, I mean, obviously, let's get the obvious out of the way. Clearly, it's good for the Eagles, and it's good for anyone that can pull it off and that anyone that can do it, because if it's a legal play and you can perform it, then do it. If it works, it works, right? No one can stop it, and there's honestly nothing you can really do about it. We have not seen like anyone be able to like stop it consistently or with a specific strategy. There hasn't been one. And in fact, they're actually 115 for 132, which is 87% using the tush push since 2022, including the playoffs, which is just an absurd rate. The bad part about it is officials don't know how to officiate it. And most of the offensive line is moving before the ball is even snapped, which, listen, I'm not asking to ban the tush push, okay? Like, I actually was against it, them banning it when they were calling for it in the league votes this past offseason. But, I mean, like, let's just keep it fair, please. Like, I'm not asking you to ban it, but, like, it's already pretty, like, the play is already pretty much unstoppable. We don't need the refs not stopping it when it should be. Like, it's already unstoppable. So now the refs aren't stopping it when it should be stopped. Like, it's not fair. The offensive line is literally moving. Like, the whole offensive line is moving before the ball is snapped. They're all moving, and the center is also lined up in the neutral zone. It's just the whole fucking just shit show that needs to be fixed. It needs to, like, the officials can't see anything. The officials are done officiating it. I mean, even Dean Blandino, the on Fox or whatever, he was saying, he's like, I'm done officiating this, guys. I can't do it anymore. It's just ridiculous. Like, can't deal with it. The ugly part about it is that it's just the whole play. I mean, I know it's also just an ugly play for the players who play it. Like it sucks. It hurts. From what I've heard. It hurts. Every every perspective I've heard is that it's a very painful play. But it's also just ugly. Every time the Eagles are inside the 2-yard line or they're like about 2 yards away from the first or like a yard away from the first down, we all know what they're calling. Like if it's 3rd and 2, they're calling it twice. If it's 4th and 2, they're probably not calling it. But if it's 4th and 1, they're calling it. And we all know it, no matter what. Like they could be at their own 1-yard line and it could be 4th and 1, which I know that that's probably not possible, but they would still call just because it's 87% success rate. You, I don't know of a play in football that has an 87% success rate. Like, do you? Other than the tush push? Like, I don't think there's ever been a play in the history of football that has had that high of a success rate. So it's just honestly getting a little ridiculous. They need to figure out a way to officiate it somehow. At least make it fair. I'm not asking to ban it. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just saying make it fair because your entire offensive line is false starting before the entire offensive line is in the defensive line's chest before the defensive line has had a chance to move because the ball hasn't even been snapped yet. And again, I'm not even a Chiefs fan. Just want fair football. But yeah, ugly play. Game also turns ugly and boring. And if it works, it works. But please, let's just call a fair game here. We're going to go to my next segment. It is called Going Big and Going Home. This segment is about which teams either stole a win or won big on the road this week and probably had the most fun on the ride home. Either had like fun plane ride, or if it was a short ride, maybe fun bus ride, whatever it is. I don't know do they take bus or do they always take like flights? Like what if they're like real close, like an hour or two bus? Do you like? I actually need to look that up. I don't know. Do they take buses anymore, or do they just fly? Even if it's like for example, first team here is the Bills dominating the Jets. Bills obviously upstate New York. Jets are located in New Jersey. But it's like, do you take a flight from upstate New York from New Jersey? I don't think you do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. But the Bills dominated the Jets on the road 30-10. Start 1-0 in their division. They probably had the shortest ride back home, most likely. That's what I mean. Like I don't. Plus it was a 1 o'clock game, so they were actually probably home in time to enjoy some Sunday Night Football. So they definitely had a nice ride home. New England Patriots get their first win with Mike Vrabel as their head coach on the road against their division rival, the Dolphins. They also had an early game, but they had probably about a 3.5 hour flight on the way home. So they definitely got home later than the Bills would have, but their plane ride was definitely a fun one to be on yesterday. I would imagine Mike Vrabel's first win as the coach of the New England Patriots. One of the most fun plane rides probably was also the Eagles win against the Chiefs in their Super Bowl rematch. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have now beat the Chiefs 3 straight times. Makes Jalen Hurts only the second quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times. The first and the other one being Joe Burrow. For our third and final segment, we're doing Are We There Yet? Similar to Going Big and Going Home, but this is just kind of the opposite. It's which team suffered a big/bad loss on the road and probably had the most miserable ride back home. New York Giants definitely had a bad ride home. They played a great game against the Dallas Cowboys, but they came up short after the overtime interception from Russell Wilson. Their flight was about 3.5 hours, which after playing about almost 5 quarters of football probably felt like 5 hours. It's just got to be like what a long day for the Giants. You had a long game that goes into overtime, and then you have a long flight home after a loss. Like, just long night, long Sunday for the Giants. Broncos had a rough 2.5 hour plane ride home yesterday after they definitely did, because they pretty much won that game. They had that game won after the Colts rookie field goal kicker missed a 60-yarder. I said Colts rookie field goal kicker. Colts rookie kicker missed a 60-yard field goal. Problem was Broncos committed a penalty. They were pushing down on the center, trying to get over the top. Can't do that. It created a 15-yard penalty, set up 45-yard field goal. Colts nailed that. They ended up winning 29-28. Yeah, they had probably about a 2.5 hour plane ride home. That's just got to be rough after knowing, like, you could have won that, especially for the guys on that special teams, like, defensive line that committed that penalty. That's got to be even worse. I'm going to do a quick now we're into the fantasy outlook. Just going to do a quick look at that. Some streaming options this week is Geno Smith at Washington, Michael Penix at Carolina. These are also guys that are all under 50% rostered, by the way. We're just going through some quick streaming options. If you need some streaming, obviously start the studs. We all know that. Like Lamar and Josh and Mahomes and Burrow's out. Can't start Burrow. So maybe if you have Burrow, these are some of the guys to look at. Geno, Washington, Michael Penix, Carolina. Some risky ones are Trevor Lawrence versus Houston because of their tough defense. Sam Darnold against New Orleans. I wouldn't mind that one. I don't know how much I trust Sam Darnold. I don't trust New Orleans defense. That's why I don't mind that one. Russell Wilson versus Kansas City. Don't really trust that one either. But if you need it and you're in a deep league or super flex league, and you had Burrow or something, I guess, and he's the best option there. For the second straight week, the only running backs with potential to become starters in the offense are just over the 50% mark, so we got to look elsewhere for some intriguing pickups. Obviously, if Cam Scatterbo, he's above 50% roster mark, but he would be my number one running back ad if he's available. Bayshall Tootin would be my number two ad if he's available. These guys are above 50%. I'm just saying, but they would be if they're still available in your leagues. Pick up Cam Scatterbo. That's my one. Bayshall Tootin at my two. Trey Benson also at my three if he's not picked up in any of your leagues. Especially with James Conner being 30, I have Trey Benson in my dynasty league, and I'm not rooting for any injuries here, okay? Not what I'm doing. But James Conner's 30 years old, and Trey Benson, you know what I'm saying? Like, take the job, dude. High upside backups, you got like Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis, even though I'm a James Cook fantasy owner in a couple other leagues. Najee Harris, Blake Corum. Obviously, I love Blake Corum as a Michigan fan. Some risky flex options, Kareem Hunt, and some dart throws would be like Jerome Ford, maybe Kyle Monangai. These are for very deep leagues. Miles Sanders at Chicago, Jeremy McNichols, who's going to be the pass catching back for Washington with Eckler going down. He's actually one guy that I'm going to be looking at because especially if you have Bill, it would not be like in a deep league. If you have Bill, it would not be bad to try to pick up Jeremy McNichols because you never know, that could become a committee backfield where Bill's taking more of the rushing opportunities and Jeremy McNichols is taking most of the passing down opportunities. You also have Rashad White, and that's pretty much it. Not taking. Oh, you got some other guys like who are just kind of like stashes to just kind of roster. Maybe they can break out later in the season, or if you are in Dynasty, these are going to be some guys that are probably already rostered, but you can look at. You got Ollie Gordon. I like Ollie Gordon a lot. Jaden Blue, he's going to be more of a pass catching back. Kendre Miller, Woody Marks, Chris Brooks, A.J. Dillon, Chris Rodriguez Jr., He'll get some more time with Austin Eckler down. DJ Giddens. Some deep stashes are Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker's a stud. If Bucky Irving goes down, don't be looking at Rachaad White. Look at Sean Tucker. Now you might be like, oh, well, Rachaad White, even if Bucky Irving goes down, like Rachaad White will be, even if he got all the workload, he'd be decent, okay? Sean Tucker could win you a fucking championship. I'm telling you. Taj Brooks, Damian Pierce, Zamir White. Why the f is Zamir White on here? Is he even like, that motherfucker still even playing? Yeah, I'm still playing, but I would not take Zamir White. Just putting that out there, right? I say that it wouldn't be that horrible. Ashton Genty did carry the ball like 400 times last year for Boise State, so his injury concern is probably up there. All right, so let's look at some wide receivers. Troy Franklin, Darnell Mooney is already above 50%, but I would add him if he is available. Alec Eilmanor, Romeo Dobbs, Kayshon Boutte. Probably throw Marvin Mims, D-Hop possibly. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the best guys. Isaac Tesla, like I know he's the number 3, but the dude has had 2 catches in his career, and they have both been incredible. Like he is gonna make his way onto that field more and more. Dante Thornton, I like Dante Thornton. You can always go after Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be actually not rostered in a lot of leagues because he's still on injuries reserve. And if you have an IR spot and you don't have anyone on IR, see if Brandon Ayuk's available and just toss him on the IR. You don't have to drop anyone. And if any of your big guys get hurt later on, drop Brandon Ayuk. You didn't draft him. Oh, well. And if he comes back and he's great, you got him for nothing. Tight ends, Juwan Johnson appears to be a deep sleeper that we should be focusing on. He's looking like a stud. Harold Fannin Jr. possibly should be around top 12 range this season as a tight end. Some streaming options would be Chig Okonkwo, sorry. Dalton Schultz, Isaiah Likely if he is healthy, and possibly maybe Jatavian Sanders against Atlanta. For some streaming defenses, I'd say we got Seahawks versus New Orleans, Falcons at Carolina, Colts at Tennessee. I'm just saying Seahawks versus New Orleans, Falcons at Carolina, Colts versus Tennessee, Buccaneers versus the Jets, and Commanders versus Las Vegas. Injury report: Burrow's gonna need surgery on his toe. He'll be sidelined for at least 3 months, possibly out for the rest of the season. Per Adam Schefter, J.J. McCarthy injured his right ankle and is now out 2 to 4 weeks. Carson Wentz will take over as the starter. Justin Fields is in concussion protocol now. We'll have to keep an eye on if he will be cleared for the Jets game against the Bucs this Sunday. Pete Carroll said he expects Brock Bowers to play tonight, but it isn't a lock, so we will see. Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and Ayuk are all still injured. Probably see Brock Purdy back out there in probably a week before Kittle, most likely. And we'll see Kittle back out there in about a month. Austin Eckler, sadly, tears his Achilles. Jaden Daniels has a knee injury that could sideline him for week 3. College football recap. You had some big wins from Georgia, pulled off an electric win against Tennessee. Texas A&M beat Notre Dame. Georgia Tech beat Clemson with a big win. West Virginia beat Pittsburgh with a big win. Vanderbilt had a big win against South Carolina. Bryce Underwood looked good, and Michigan blew out Central Michigan. Bill Belichick in North Carolina got the win, and they are now 2-1. And this is Bill Belichick's first winning record since the New England Patriots were 7-6 on December 12th of 2022. You got some big losers this week: Notre Dame, Tennessee, South Florida, Virginia Tech. Arch Manning did not play great against UTEP. Wisconsin got whooped by Alabama. Not good if you're Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. Kent State has now lost 22 games in a row. They almost won this weekend. They came close and they lost their 22nd game in a row. We had Canelo versus Crawford this weekend, big boxing match. Terrence Bud Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez via decision to remain undefeated and improved 42-0. We're going to preview next week's games. Actually, we'll look at that later. We'll probably do that tomorrow or something. Real quick, Monday Night Football games. We're just going to preview those real quick. The last time the Texans faced Tampa Bay, C.J. Stroud threw for career high 5 touchdown passes and a rookie record 470 yards to lift the Texans to a 39-37 win. Texans are looking to get top receiver Nico Collins going after he just had 3 catches and 25 yards in the opener last week. I'm just going to try to get through this quick because got to get off of this around 7. That was my end time here. My bets for the game: Nico Collins anytime touchdown, Emeka Egbuka anytime touchdown, and Tampa Bay plus 2.5. Monday Night Football for Chargers at Raiders last week. Chargers beat Chiefs 27-21. Raiders beat the Patriots 20-13. After passing for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Chiefs, Herbert faces a Raiders secondary that's still trying to prove itself. They don't look good. Las Vegas allowed Drake May to throw for 287 yards last week. And then the Raiders defense isn't also considered on par with the Chiefs defense. So there's definitely opportunity for Herbert to shine tonight. If the Raiders are to make life easier for their secondary, they will need to put pressure on Herbert. Crosby's an elite pass rusher. They need to get Crosby going tonight. He can open up a lot of opportunities for some other guys on that defensive line as well. Key matchup tonight to watch will be Brock Bowers versus Derwin James, or if Brock Bowers goes down, Michael Mayer, or if he's not playing as much. Bowers injured his knee last week, so he might not play, but they expect him to. James also helped hold Travis Kelce last week to only 2 receptions, and he's always a difficult matchup against tight ends. My bets for this game: Justin Herbert over 260 yards passing, Brock Bowers under 52.5 yards receiving because of his injury. Obviously, Justin Herbert over the passing yards because of just the secondary of the Raiders. And I have Chargers plus 3.5. I know 3.5 is kind of it's right at that line because it's a field goal game. But I think the Chargers are a much better team than the Raiders, even though the Raiders have Geno Smith and Pete Carroll now as their quarterback. I think that the Chargers are the real deal this year, and they are definitely a sneaky team to look out for. So that's just been my recap of this week and my preview of the Monday Night Football game. So I appreciate you guys watching and listening, and I will talk to you guys next week. See you guys. Have a good one.